Hello folks, and welcome to another exciting pre-alpha teaser of Telepath Tactics. Things that are new, as you can hear, there is new music. I've done a number of bug fixes and interface improvements in anticipation of showing off this game at Tech Week, which will be happening this weekend. As you can see, the GUI is still very much full of placeholder art. Also, character animations aren't in the game yet, those are still in progress as well. I'm going to show you just a bit of gameplay here, and in order to do so, I'm going to customize the army that we fight with here. Okay, great. Let's get started. Looks like the computer AI is going to go first here. This map is called River of Fire. As you can see, most of this map is actually filled with destructible bridge tiles, which makes this a very interesting map to fight on if you happen to have a means of destroying bridge tiles. As it happens, we very well might. I've mostly selected characters here that are capable of picking up and moving around other characters and destructible objects. The Mentalist can move characters at a distance. The Stone Golem can throw characters a pretty big distance from up close. And both the Spearman and the Swordsman have a shove ability that, as you might imagine, lets them shove other characters one space away. Let's go ahead and start heading toward the middle here, where we will have access to these explosive charges that we can hopefully use to our advantage against the enemy. As you can see, the enemy is at least partially responding to the way we've been moving. He's sending men around into the center here. My Spearman has had some pretty good luck with his defensive stance there. He was able to block a couple of attacks, and it looks like 3 item sacks dropped on the battlefield. We have one with bandages, one with more bandages, and one with focus pills. Bandages are really, really handy. I cannot stress enough just how handy bandages are. Super, super useful. They let you heal your characters, and if you don't have a Psi healer on your team, that is pretty much your only option for healing your characters. So, highly recommend it. Getting bandages, if you can. The computer AI does not currently pick up those sort of things, but it will. Oh boy, will it. That is one of the many exciting things that I have planned for the future of this game. So you might have seen the update that I posted on Sinister Design talking about the current state of this game. One of the many things that is currently in progress is a diplomacy system. Oh dear God! Okay, so that is something the computer AI does sometimes. If it has a way of pushing your men into lava or water, it will oftentimes do it. In this case, he just uses Mentalist to psychokinetically pull my crossbowmen into the lava. This is going to hurt a lot. Ow! 20 damage. Now here's one of the new things I've added into the game. When your characters are thrown into lava or water, they can't move normally. You have to swim out. You can only swim one space. It costs 2 energy to do it, and your turn ends as soon as you do so. So there, she's just pulled herself, badly injured, limping out of the lava. And that is probably the best she's going to be able to do this turn. As you can see, I've turned on the ability to move through allied characters. That is one of the many options you have in this game for customizing matches. Unfortunately, I can only pull this guy one space. He has cleverly positioned his characters so that they are not at risk of being pulled into the lava here. So I'm going to avoid moving her there. One thing I can do I would really like to detonate those charges and hurt the crossbowman, but unfortunately, my crossbowman's the only one who can do it in one shot, and she is currently unavailable to do that, for reasons that should be fairly obvious. Alright, let's rearrange our characters here. I'm going to make a stand at this choke point here, I think. One cool thing swordsmen can do is they can feint. That didn't do anything, but sometimes it does. Feinting uses up 1 energy. It gives you a 50% chance to, there you go, to take out one of the enemy's counterattacks. So in this case, this swordsman has 1 counterattack remaining. I have 3 energy left that I can use to try to get rid of its remaining counterattack. There we go! This swordsman now has no counterattacks left, which means that she is highly vulnerable to being taken out by my other characters. I'm going to have my stone golem demonstrate throw for you here. That gets the swordsman out of the way, and this swordsman can move in and start dealing some damage to this spearman here. And I think that is... You know what, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to have my mentalist come around and... Yeah, that stone golem can't reach me, so I'm going to have my mentalist backstab this crossbowman with a mind blast. And now it's the computer's turn. Oh, I was afraid that might happen. The computer went and finished the job, killing my crossbowman. And the computer has given its swordsman a move bonus via use of the ability Sprint. The spearman decided to back off and use a defensive stance. I'm not 100% sure why I chose to do that, but I am not going to argue. The AI in this is generally pretty good, but sometimes it makes questionable decisions. That is still being worked on. And let's see. Unfortunately, this crossbowman is in my way. I'd really like to pull at least one of these two into the lava. It looks like that is not going to happen this turn, simply because that crossbowman is making a nuisance of herself, getting in my way, and preventing me from doing all the exciting things I really want to do. I'm going to Mind Blast her into oblivion, and that is the end of her. Now as for these two, I think what I might do is actually, I'm going to use my stone golem to shove this spearman into the lava. And swordsman, why don't you do the same? Alright. That was the end of the mentalist. The spearman is still in the lava. He will have to extricate himself. There we go. That is the end of his turn. Alright, this stone golem, unfortunately, I don't know if I have the ability to detonate these charges as reliably as I'd like. Let's take a look at their resistance. Charges are 50% pierce resistant, which means that the spearman might be able to detonate these in a couple turns with spear throws. Let's see. Okay, it's going to take 3 turns for him to detonate those charges like that. That might be a little too slow. I'm going to have Quakestep just take out, Quakestep being the name of my stone golem, take out this swordsman the old-fashioned way, with a fist to the face. And I think Aurora, my swordsman, might be able to finish the job on the spearman without too much more trouble. Just a regular sword slash ought to do it. There we go. Okay, let's end the turn. With only a stone golem left to deal with, we are in pretty good shape here. But, oh, the stone golem is not taking the bait. The stone golem is running around the other way. Let's see if we can convince him to go back up the center by reorienting our characters a bit. And actually, this is pretty good, because this gives me another chance to work on these charges some more. There we go. One more hit ought to trigger them. Let's end the turn. And there we... no, now he's going up that way. Oh, I see. It's because... You know what's happening, folks, is he wants to get to this swordsman. The swordsman who is relatively low on health, and who he thinks is vulnerable to his attacks. That's who he is angling for. So let's go ahead and present him only one viable route to her, up the center. There we go. That's more like it. We'll just end the turn. Oh, but he's being sneaky, folks. He is staying out of range of these charges. Let's see if perhaps we can catch him in a vulnerable position heading up this way. I think we might be able to do it. Aha! There we go. That's what I like to see. Alright, charges. Time to detonate these things and see if we can take out this stone golem. Very nice. A solid 20 damage. Stone golems are very, very resistant to regular attacks. So you need to use mental attacks, or ideally explosives, if you really want to get anywhere with them. I'm going to use Toss, which tosses an enemy 2 spaces in order to throw this stone golem into the lava here. And I think that ought to do it. At the beginning of his next turn, he should be pretty much a goner. You know what? One more thing, though. I'm going to grab these bandages, and I'm going to use them to restore some health on my swordsman. Very nice. And let's end the turn and wrap up this match. That's it, folks. That is the end of that match. So there you have it. That is a pretty good introduction to where Telepath Tactics is at right now. There's still a few kinks that need to be worked out. Character animations aren't in yet. Multiplayer is still in the works. But as you can see, hot seat mode is pretty solid. The computer AI, pretty decent. You can get a real challenge from it. Random item drops are in the matches, environmental hazards. There's a swimming system now. You get the drift. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I will show you more updates as there is more to show. Thanks for watching.